And we are live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the latest Winning the Game of Business Live. Today, we're going to talk about how sustainable success comes from small, consistent actions and not grand gestures or big push moments. And how those small, consistent actions compound into massive business and life results. Now, everybody I've spoken to in business wants big results, but there's only a few that are willing to take the small steps that create them. Because here's the truth. The way you use your time, your attention, and your actions every day, that's what builds your business. It's not the grand gestures. It's not the big campaign. It's not the overnight success that never actually exists. It's the small steps done consistently that equal big results. Now, you might have heard the phrase, if a butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazon, there's a snowstorm in New York. That's chaos theory. Small causes can have massive effects. Here's the thing. Business works exactly the same way. Every little choice, what you say, what you do, how you think, either move you forward or backward towards the pursuit of your goals. There's no neutral. Absolutely no neutral. Every thought you have, every action you take or don't take, every decision you make or you don't make has a direction, forward or backward. Now, here's how I like to think of it. Everything you do today is either a plus 1% action or a minus 1% action. Making that follow-up call, that's a plus 1%. Avoiding a call because you don't have time, you don't feel like doing it, that's a minus 1%. Reviewing your numbers, that's a plus 1% action. Ignoring your cash flow, that's a minus 1% action. Resting and having a great night's sleep, that's a plus 1% action. Running on caffeine and stress, that's a minus 1% action. And the truth is, you don't need huge leaps. You just need to stick or stack enough 1% actions to tilt the game in your favour. What I've tended to find, and I've been guilty of myself, is when business owners decide to get serious, they usually go straight for that grand gesture, right? From tomorrow, I'm going to make 200 sales calls. No, you're not. It's more likely you'll make none because it's too big. It's too big a leap. It's too unrealistic. It's too far outside the norm. It's way outside the familiarity zone. But 5 calls a day, that's doable. 5 calls a day, that's 25 a week. That's 100 a month. And even with a modest conversion rate, that's a pipeline. That's opportunity. That's momentum. So small actions done daily create the compound effect. 2 great books, by the way, on this, if you want to dig deeper into this, are The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy and The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I can't recommend those books highly enough. Both say the same thing, actually. Tiny actions don't feel like much day to day, but over time they stack into exponential results. The problem is, because they're so small, they're easy to skip. And that's why most people never get past average in business. And here's the hard truth. Grand gestures don't work because they're exhausting. Whether it's the 200 sales calls or the 100 press-ups or the total lifestyle overhaul, most people will burn out before they see a result. But if you were to do 10 press-ups a day, that's sustainable. By day 60, you'll be at 100 easily. Not because of willpower, but because of consistency and that compounding effect. It's the same in business. You don't leap to success. You build it brick by brick, habit by habit. At Momentum, we call this the flywheel effect. At first, every push feels heavy because you're building the systems, you're creating the habits, you're setting the standards. And as the momentum builds, it takes less energy to keep it moving. And suddenly people look at you and say, wow, you've grown so fast. But the truth is, you've grown because of all those tiny plus 1% steps. In truth, you grew slowly and consistently, but they're just noticing it now. Success never happens overnight. It compounds quietly and then shows up loudly. And one of the biggest killers of growth is stopping what works. Now, in business, you often see a cycle of you sell the work, then you do the work. You get busy, so you stop selling. Then the sales dry up, so you panic, you start selling again. And that's the roller coaster that a lot of businesses live on because they stop the small daily actions that built the momentum in the first place. So here's the rule. When things are working, keep doing what got you there, even when you're busy. Because as your business grows, the real power comes from focus. The bigger you get, the faster you move, and the more you have to say no. Because if everything's a priority, nothing is. So choose the small right actions repeated daily, because they're going to beat the big inconsistent ones every time. So if there's one takeaway from today, it's big results don't come from big efforts. They come from small steps consistently done. Everything you do today is either a plus 1% advance or a minus 1% retreat. So start where you are, take the smallest step you can, keep adding fuel to what's working, and watch how big it becomes. Okay, next time we're going to be diving into the busy trap. Now, if you're constantly feeling there aren't enough hours in the day, or you're working after dinner, or you're stuck on tasks you shouldn't be doing, this is for you. Same time, same place, 3:30 p.m. UK time. It's going to be a good, and you won't want to miss it. Until then, make sure you keep winning this great game of business.